Ironheart is a series that received a massive amount of backlash with the promotional material. The trailer got absolutely destroyed by fans. The entire idea of this character coming into the MCU wasn't popular. Her character wasn't received well in Wakanda Forever. Nevertheless, Marvel decided we're going full speed ahead because we prioritize diverse characters. And Riri Williams, Ironheart, this is exactly what we need more of. And it's finally here, released last night on Disney Plus. And I got to tell you, we've seen some bad stuff from Marvel. We've seen some bad stuff from the MCU. Ironheart, with 3 episodes out and 3 more to come because they're dumping this entire thing in a week's span. It is one of the worst things we've probably seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are no likable characters in this effectively. Not only Ironheart as a character, but the entire crew that she runs with. The Crime Time crew, the criminals who are taking money from the rich to put in their own pockets. And this is a good tweet from Gary from Nerdrotic. The absolute state of Disney Marvel. And this is a real closed captioning from the show. Not only do you have Riri Williams as Ironheart, but you have the entire crew that she's with. You've got this person who is a transgender, non-binary, masculine, something, blah, blah, blah. You've got a drag queen. You've got this person's, I don't know if they're actually sisters or siblings or whatever, the blood siblings or whatever they are right there. You got Riri. You got, I think this one's called Clown, who basically just looks like a taller version of Riri Williams. And the Hood, right? It's a diverse group, okay? It's a very diverse group of people here in the Crime Time squad in Chicago. But he is telling them, this might be the prettiest group of washed up criminals I ever saw. And he says it multiple times, tries to convince the audience how attractive everybody in this group is. But Riri Williams is the focal point of this. Riri Williams, to me, comes off completely insufferable because it is a comic accurate adaptation, someone that steals the technology, someone that rips off Tony Stark. And look, it feels like they were aware that some things were going to get hyper criticized and maybe they tried to fix a couple things, but Riri Williams is all about herself. She is all about becoming iconic. She is all about people giving her the respect she deserves. Nobody gives me the respect I deserve. I'm the smartest person in the world, and nobody gives me that respect. That's what this series is about. And they throw in 1 or 2 lines in the first episode. I think again in the second one, I don't know if they were added after once they knew how poorly this would go over, but it's like, I want to make these suits to help people. But then the rest of the time she's talking about it and then explaining why she's building this, it's all about her. And this is somebody who was gifted a lot of shit. Right? Certainly very smart, but also gifted, had a Tony Stark grant at MIT and blew it, right? Had all these opportunities and blew them. And now she is more than willing to beg, borrow, and steal, quite literally steal. And it's not just that she gets put in a position to get taken advantage of. She's talking about stealing before she meets this group of criminals that need her help, that want her help. And they try to pass it off as she's really uncomfortable with doing the crime. But she was telling her friend that she wanted to steal. She wanted to find a job at another lab who wouldn't notice the things that she pilfers away. She got kicked out of MIT for selling other people their homework, basically, and for stealing a bunch of shit. Like, it is absolutely wild that this is supposed to come off as some compelling, relatable character. And to have the gall, right? It is not full on, oh, Tony Stark's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. It's not full on that, but here's an actual quote from it. When somebody is kind of, talking about Tony Stark and, you could be the next whatever, she says, he contributed immensely to the field. So I won't roast Tony Stark off rip. And then she goes on to say, but look, I don't have $1 billion. I can't do these things. In a series where they're introducing, right, the son of Ironmonger, right? In a series where they're introducing his son, the very idea that it gets overlooked that Tony Stark didn't have $1 billion in a high-tech lab when he created the first Iron Man suit. He was in a fucking cave with nothing. And that's what he was able to do with himself because of his brilliance. It's insane. But to me, one of the most interesting parts about this entire thing, of course, has been the reaction to Ironheart and the different ways that it's been received. Now you go over to IMDb, a 4.3 on IMDb, a lot of 1-star reviews and a lot of 10-star reviews, right? Now that gets called review bombing. Oh, it's getting review bombed. It's getting review bombed. But man, when we see a bunch of perfect scores kind of out of nowhere, we don't say a similar thing. Just look at Rotten Tomatoes. So Rotten Tomatoes, very early on, it was in the 30s. There's a handful that got there before the show officially released. But even in the hours after, it was still in the 30s. Miraculously, overnight, a lot of those bad reviews disappeared. Now, Ironheart's sitting there at a 67%. Not great, certainly, but also not like what we're seeing on IMDb, not like what we saw early on with Ironheart. And when you start going through these reviews, you find something interesting. Tara L, 5 stars, amazing. The representation, the accuracy of blackness, the soundtrack, everything about these first few episodes was amazing. We go to the user profile. Man, I can't believe that Ironheart's the only thing you've ever reviewed. No movie ratings, just 1 TV rating. That's crazy. I mean, that's probably just a coincidence. Tyler D, loving the humor and culture. Dominique is a star. Love the supporting cast. Well, let's go to your user profile. Oh man, that's weird. Only one thing, only Ironheart, not reviewed anything else. This one's a 4-star. Like it so far. Great visuals, good plot. Paul C says, super solid. Only up from here, Riri. Let's go to Paul's profile. Oh man, that's weird. That's so weird, isn't it? Only reviewed Ironheart. So it's weird that everybody wants to, well, it's just review bombing if it's negative, but if we suddenly get a bunch of perfect scores that seem to just be people that are going on there to give it a perfect score to boost, and nothing there. Nothing's going on. Those are just genuine. Look, you're going to have people like all these 10 stars here. You're going to have some people that didn't watch this show that just gave it a 1. You're also going to have some people that are just intentionally giving it a 10 or a 5 or a perfect score, whatever that is, just because it has a black character representation. They want to stick it to the haters. This is what we see with a lot of shows that come out, but it's only described as review bombing when it happens one way. But Ironheart overall, it is under an intense amount of criticism, and I think rightly so. I think the show is annoying to get through. Maybe it will appeal to like Gen Z, to like Zoomers and stuff like that. But all of especially the crew, we're getting a lot of these characters. We're getting a lot of them and the way that they interact. The drag queen is one of the most annoying characters in the entire fucking thing, and he will not shut the fuck up. But Riri Williams, look, I think there are ways that you could have done this and kept something similar and made her into a more sympathetic character and a character that people could actually empathize with. But instead, right off the rip, she says, I'm smarter than everybody. I don't get the respect I deserve. Why don't people give me this respect? I need to build this Iron Man suit so people give me the respect I deserve. And I need money to do that. I need money. And she's already like used to stealing shit. She's already used to breaking the rules. And before she even gets recruited by these criminals, she says that her plan is to find another lab that she can steal shit from to make her suit. And 1 or 2 times she talks about helping people, being a hero. For the most part, it's about me. It's about, I want people to view me this way. I want to be iconic. I want to prove it to everybody that I'm smarter than anybody else, that I can make something better than they've ever seen before, better than Tony Stark ever could. That's not going to win very many people over. And that's not a compelling character. And I think there's ways you could have arranged it where similar things happen, but she gets drawn into it in a different way, something like that could make that a little bit better character arc. And then by the end, she does reject it. But we know she's down with stealing shit. She talks about it from the very beginning. But here we are. Ironheart's finally here. And I got to say, it's just as big of a disaster as I expected.